Hey Falcons fans, let's dive into the latest updates and take a look at what's ahead for our team. Before we jump into today's main topic, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any breaking news or exclusive updates. Now let's talk about something that could change the future of our beloved Atlanta Falcons. We've all been waiting for that game-changing player who could ignite the defense and bring the spark it's been missing. Matthew Judon was supposed to be that guy when Atlanta made the trade, but unfortunately, things didn't turn out as we had hoped. So, what's next for the Falcons' defensive line? Well, there's a homegrown talent who might just be the answer we've been searching for. Gone are the days when the Falcons passed over Georgia Bulldogs players just because they're from our own backyard. We've all seen how dominant Georgia football has been under Kirby Smart, and it's clear that some of these Bulldogs are destined for NFL success. The Falcons could really benefit from targeting a UGA player in the upcoming draft, especially with the wealth of talent available. While safety Malaki Starks might be an exciting addition to Atlanta's secondary, there's still some uncertainty about his draft position. Some analysts believe he could go as high as the top 16 picks, while others think he might fall to the later part of the first round. But here's the thing. Atlanta's biggest need right now is at pass rusher, and that's where a familiar name comes into play, Jalen Walker. Walker is the player to watch. ESPN's Jordan Reed recently mocked him to the Falcons at number 15 in his NFL draft prediction, and I couldn't agree more. While Michael Williams, another Georgia product, fits the typical pass rusher role, he's expected to be drafted much earlier than Atlanta's number 15 pick. That's where Walker shines as the perfect fit. So, why should the Falcons prioritize Jalen Walker over Georgia's other stars? For one, he's an incredibly instinctive player with a natural ability to disrupt offenses and completely throw off their game plans. Just imagine the impact he could have on Atlanta's defense. The Falcons need someone who can step in and make an immediate difference, and Walker is that guy. We all know how important it is to get first-round picks right, especially when you look at some of Terry Fontenot's successful selections in recent years, from Kyle Pitts and Drake London to Bijan Robinson and Michael Penix Jr. The Falcons have made solid moves on offense, but let's not forget about defense. After all, a strong defense could be exactly what takes Atlanta to the next level, and Jalen Walker might just be the missing piece. Remember back in 2017 when the Falcons had a chance to draft TJ Watt? But instead of drafting TJ Watt, the Falcons picked Takkarist McKinley. Well, we all know how that turned out. Jalen Walker could be the player to fill that void, a disruptive force who can change the course of games. He won the Butkus Award, joining a prestigious list of linebackers like Roquan Smith and Nakobe Dean, who went on to have successful NFL careers. There's a lot to love about Walker, and his potential in Atlanta is sky high. Sure, the Georgia connection might add some extra pressure, but when you look at how well Georgia players have transitioned to the NFL in recent years, it's tough to ignore the trend. Walker is a low-risk, high-reward pick who could pay off big for the Falcons. I'm convinced Jalen Walker is the right choice for Atlanta, but I want to hear from you, Falcons Nation. Do you think Walker is the answer to the team's pass-rushing problem, or should Atlanta go in a different direction? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. It's been 7 long years since the Atlanta Falcons made the playoffs, and the pain of last season's overtime losses still lingers. The team is so close to breaking through, but these near misses have been incredibly frustrating. The good news is, with the right off-season moves, the Falcons can finally put themselves back in playoff contention. Today, I'll be talking about the 3 biggest positional needs for this team heading into 2025. Now, let's talk about the solutions that could take this roster to the next level. We're looking at potential draft picks and free agent acquisitions that could make a huge difference. Let's start with the first and perhaps most urgent need, a pass rusher. The Falcons have been trying to establish a consistent pass rush for years, but it just hasn't worked. Since the departure of John Abraham, the team has struggled to find a true game-changer at the edge. Sure, we had that one good season from Vic Beasley, but we all know that wasn't sustainable, especially considering the guidance he received from Dwight Freeney. The reality is, the Falcons haven't been able to consistently pressure opposing quarterbacks, and that's something they need to fix if they want to compete for a playoff spot. This offseason, fixing the pass rush has to be the top priority. Yes, the team brought in Matthew Judon last year, but his impact didn't meet expectations, and the trade didn't produce the results many of us had hoped for. So, what's next? The draft presents the perfect chance to address this need, and one name that stands out is Georgia linebacker Jalen Walker. But the Falcons shouldn't rely solely on the draft to fix their pass rush. There's still a lot of talent available in free agency, and one player who could make a huge impact is Chase Young. The former Washington Commanders defensive end has the potential to be a game-changer for Atlanta, even though he's been a bit inconsistent. Despite some inconsistency, Chase Young is still young and has the potential to be a real force off the edge. If the Saints let him walk, the Falcons should jump at the opportunity to sign him and strengthen their pass rush. Now, let's talk about Michael Penix Jr., the new face of the Falcons' offense. In his first few starts for Atlanta, Penix showed flashes of brilliance. Sure, the Falcons only won one of his 3 starts, but both losses came in overtime, and Penix never even got the chance to possess the ball. The talent is there. He can make all the throws, and his ability to fit passes into tight windows is something special. But to help Penix reach his full potential, he needs another weapon in the passing game. Drake London is a star, and Darnell Mooney has proven to be a reliable target, but the Falcons need to add another playmaker to the receiving corps. Ray McCloud was solid in an expanded role last season, but with Rondale Moore out for the year, it's clear the Falcons could use one more dynamic weapon. That's why I'm excited about Oregon wide receiver Troy Franklin. Franklin is explosive with the ball in his hands, and his ability to take the top off defenses makes him a perfect fit for Atlanta. In free agency, I think the Falcons should also take a shot on Mecole Hardman, the speedy wideout from the Kansas City Chiefs. Hardman would bring much-needed speed and big playability to Atlanta's offense. Given his history with the Chiefs, Mecole Hardman would be a great addition to complement Drake London and Darnell Mooney. Now, let's talk about the Falcons' secondary. While there were some strong performances from players like Jesse Bates, Justin Simmons, and A.J. Terrell, the secondary still had its issues, especially toward the end of the season. Richie Grant and Dee Alford struggled, and although Mike Hughes and Clark Phillips showed promise, the unit as a whole still needs improvement. To really solidify the secondary, the Falcons should look to add another cornerback. A player like Ohio State's Denzel Burke could be a great option in the draft. Burke has the potential to make an immediate impact, and his physicality and ball skills could help elevate Atlanta's secondary. But let's be real, depending too heavily on a rookie cornerback could be risky. That's why adding a proven veteran would be a smart move. Enter Dallas Cowboys cornerback Jordan Lewis. Lewis is a seasoned veteran who has proven himself in the league, and with the uncertainty surrounding the Cowboys roster, he could be a prime target for the Falcons in free agency. His experience and ability to cover in tight spaces would be a huge asset to Atlanta's defense. If the Falcons can land Jalen Walker or Michael Williams in the draft, sign Chase Young in free agency, add a dynamic receiver like Troy Franklin or Mecole Hardman, and solidify the secondary with a player like Denzel Burke or Jordan Lewis, this team could be primed for a serious playoff push in 2025. What do you think, Falcons Nation? Are these the right moves to make? Do you have any other suggestions for the team this offseason? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more Falcons news and analysis. Go Falcons!